Hello again. Well, I have time for another Bible story, and so I'll just continue on with it. After everybody, well, not everybody, but after Rahab and her family were rescued from Jericho, the Israelite army went in and made sure everybody was dead in there. And then the Lord told them to take all of the gold and the brass and the silver out of Jericho and to bring it home, he says, because it belongs to me in the tabernacle. So they got their wagons loaded and everything and brought home all the riches out of Jericho. But there was a fly in the ointment. You know, God said those belonged to him, and they were not to keep anything for themselves. But there was this one man named Achan. And Achan was Achan for the treasures that they took out of Jericho. And he brought them home, and he found a beautiful coat that he wanted. And just a minute, Caleb, no. He found a beautiful coat that he wanted and also some other treasures. And he hid them. He took them home to his own tent, and he made a hole in the ground and buried them below the floor of his tent. And he thought, surely nobody will know that they are there. So he hid them. And then there was another battle coming up. And they were supposed to go out and fight this. It was a smaller town, smaller battle. So the Israelites went out to fight this battle. And they didn't take very many men with them. But you know, those, I can't remember the name of it, those creepazoids scared the Israelites out of the camp. They killed some of them, and they chased them out. And Joshua was so upset because he felt like the Lord had abandoned him. And it says he went into the tabernacle, which they had set up, and he cried and wailed for those men that were lost. And then God gave him the insight to realize that something went wrong. Somebody in the camp kept something they weren't supposed to. Remember, they were supposed to give all the treasures to the Lord. And they found the man. He said, yes, I did it. I kept it for myself. And they took him outside of the camp and they killed him. But anyway, then they had another battle coming up. And this time, and they thought, oh, they've lost it because of all this trouble with Achan and keeping stuff. But the Lord gave Joshua some wonderful instructions again. And Joshua sent more men into the enemy camp. And the men went in there and they pretended that they were afraid. And they let the enemy chase them all out of the camp. Like, oh, we're scared, you know, running like scared kids. And this, I can't think of the name of the town. Anyway, this town thought, ha, we're stronger than those Israelites by far. But what they didn't know is that Joshua had planned to have a tremendous army at their back. They were hiding in the hills. And this enemy town didn't even know about it. I'm embarrassed, I can't think of the name of the town, but they didn't know there was people at their back. And so when the Israelites thought, oh no, we're getting chased out again, and he started chasing him and his army, this evil king. Him and his army started chasing the Israelites out. And they chased them way, way, way out back toward their camp. Well, then they thought, well, what a bunch of scared rabbits they are. And so when they turned around to go back to their hometown again, they saw it was on fire and burning to the ground. Oh, they were devastated. And then so they started to go back to what they thought was going to be nothing, burning like crazy. Out from the hills rush all of these other Israelites that they didn't know about. And the Israelites came down and just absolutely slayed them all, defeated this next city. So it was another victory, because they found that God really wants us to keep our word. When he tells us, it all started, and they lost those men because of Achan not obeying the Lord and keeping some of the treasure for himself. And the Lord abandoned their victory because of it. But when Joshua went in his tent and said he was so sorry, he cried and cried, and the Lord showed him who did it. And then the Lord gave him a wonderful plan. So I think that's a cool story. They all chased him so far out of town that the guys back there were burning their city. And when they turned around to go back, here's his thousands of men, and destroyed them too. Anyway, I just thought I'd stick that in there also. I couldn't quit with just Jericho. So see you another time. Bye-bye.